babies, yeah! Check, check, check. Can you guys hear me? Yo, 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 yo.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, cool, hi. What's up? Good afternoon, what's up, Portland? What's up, travelers, headbangers, heathens from all over, gathered here today for the first annual Headbangers Con. My name is Jose Mangy from Sirius XM, metal ambassador in North America and all over the world, and I'm with my dear friends Carla and Heidi from the Butcher Babies, yeah! Hi! Yeah, hello, hello, hello.
I don't think Heidi's mic is working, which is fine with me. But I'm just joking.
Give me the mic, bitch. Do you guys fight?
Do we fight?
Over mics and stuff?
Over a guy's name Mike or microphone?
Oh,
I'm just joking.
yeah.
No, we never, we actually, we've been working together for years and we don't fight. So that's pretty cool, right? Carla gets lipstick all over the microphones, so we do fight over, no, we don't have to because I know whose is whose. Oh! There she is. So sorry.
Carly probably does it on purpose. She probably puts all her lipstick because that way Heidi won't use this microphone.
Yeah. Her lipstick gets on my teeth. It's weird.
I used to do something real dumb when I first moved to college and going as a freshman. My friends, my roommates would always steal the milk that I would buy. And so I would spit in the milk in front of them. I'd go to them. They would all be watching TV. Be like, shake it up. Like, now you guys can have some.
And then you would use that for your cereal?
If I was a vegan, I would probably say, milk is just cow puss anyway, it doesn't matter, I'll do this bit.
No, they drink it anyways. But I'm just saying, I was like mic repellent, milk repellent, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm here with the Butcher Babies, and again, I was really happy to know that I was going to have you girls up here on stage and hanging out. We've done a lot of cool hanging over the years. I've seen a lot of cool stuff from you girls and the music that you've made, and very proud of just hearing, was it a little demo that I was sent? It was a 3-song, I think it was.
You guys, it's kind of embarrassing now, but years ago, when we were just baby butchers, we sent our EP that we recorded literally in a closet in one of our friends' apartments in North Hollywood. We sent it to Jose, and he played it on the air on Liquid Metal, and we recorded it on, we were so excited. I had a tape recorder. We were dancing around the room. We're on Liquid Metal. But we'll never forget that he gave us our first chance to be on the radio.
Cool.
So
Well,
we love Jose. It's a long time ago.
It's so cool. I'm a fan of unique stuff, and I'm a fan of cool things in our heavy world, and I always love to have cool representation across the board. And as soon as I saw the Butcher Babies and heard the music, I was like, yes, this is gonna be cool. And I didn't even know you girls, but I was like, well, they're hot, they're cool, but they sound really heavy, and it wasn't fake, it was real. And I was like, this is cool. And then you guys put out your full length, and I remember on the little sticker, the sales CD sticker, it said, as heard on Sirius XM Liquid Metal. It was the first time we had one of those happen to us as well, so that was a cool shout out.
A quote from you too, I believe.
There was a quote.
Jose's been in our life for a really long time.
Well,
we're basically family now.
I'm super old. They're like my daughters. But let's go back. I mean, Butcher Babies. I mean, when did you guys form?
2009.
Okay.
So we've been around for almost 10 years, and we were in a band together prior to. We were a metal cover band with a bunch of girls, and it was really fun. But we wanted to do something unique and original, so we quit that band and we formed just the two of us together. We're like, let's do this for real. Let's do something heavy. And people are like, heavy? Come on. And we really we meant it, obviously, 10 years later.
I think Henry even said the same thing. Henry was an old friend of mine, and he was one of the first people I called when we were looking for guitar players. And I said, me and Heidi want to start a heavy metal band. And he said, what do you mean by heavy? Like real heavy music? Or so he thought we were joking. And we said, no, a real heavy metal band.
And he had seen us in our other band before, and that was just covers. So he was like, all right, well, let's see what we can do with their palette. And the second we all stepped into our rehearsal studio, it was like magic. And
And we've accomplished a lot, knocked down a lot of barriers, but most of all, the most important thing is that we've remained best friends. And we get to tour the world and do things with our best friend, the whole band,
Yeah.
So it's really, it's fun. And, all those years ago, people said, 2 girls like you, no, you're not going to make it. And here we are. And I think that it's really cool and really been a monumental thing in our lives to be able to do this.
I think there's the positives and benefits of being super attractive, because people right away would be like, I'm not
You don't see me when I wake up in the morning.
No, but I'm just saying. What I'm saying is that you guys had to overcome even bigger barriers because of that. It wasn't just it was like, oh, people probably just right away on the surface thought this isn't real. They're just doing it.
I think that's with any career for women in general. I was an embalmer before I was a musician, and when I would try to get a job, I went to a place called 1-800-Autopsy to get a job, and he laughed at me and said, I'd give you a job on my front desk, but you're not going to get in the back room, because I was a pretty woman. And Heidi and I never considered ourselves, we weren't, growing up, we weren't the pretty girls, we weren't the popular girls. We never thought about ourselves that way. So we didn't grow up carrying ourselves in a way where we ever thought that our looks would open up any doors. So we're not that kind of a girl. It never occurred to us to think that way. And when we started Butcher Babies, we didn't start with the intention for people to think that we were attractive. We wanted to do something raw, and then it became kind of strange, because something that I have always been attracted to in metal was that it was accepting of all different kinds of people. Didn't matter what you looked like. And then all of a sudden, it mattered what we looked like. And people were like, what are these 2 pretty girls trying to play metal for? So that was kind of a bum out for us at first. But
I think of being a female in this industry as a double-edged sword, because there are people who are interested in what can they do. And then there's people who are like, I don't want anything to do with that. But also, times have changed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really necessarily like that as much as it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was a real fight. Today, there's so many women, powerful women in metal, that are really carving a path of where we belong. And I think that it's been a beautiful shift. And even being here this weekend and seeing all of you and the support that you guys give us and that you give us and that the metal community gives us, I think that seeing this is just such a beautiful thing.
It's crazy. I mean, you girls had it was rough back in the day for female-fronted rock bands. I mean, as a programmer for Octane and Liquid Metal, we started playing In This Moment and Hailstorm a bunch, but in the beginning, people didn't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans, you can say, oh, I always liked it. No, you didn't. I mean, the research, like, we had real research that we would do with subscribers, and we would get this data back, and it would be like the female-fronted bands were the worst testing ones. This was back in the beginning, and we would still, I knew that it was just so good, and it's like, you gotta get this stereotype out of your mind and get past it. But there was people, I don't want to hear no girls singing on my Octane.
Imagine 2 girls.
Yeah, no. But
those are the kind of people, though, that get screamed at by women for real reasons in their own life every day. So they don't want to hear us screaming at them on the radio, too. We've
Wow.
heard that quite a bit.
That's a good one. I don't think I ever thought of it that way, Carla. That is a really good point. But it was hard. It was hard. I'm telling you, and it wasn't cool, but we kept on doing it. We kept on playing the band. I kept playing more Hailstorm. I played more In This Moment. Then when the Butcher Babies were a band for us, for the metal side, I was like, yes! Now we got these girls now. Now we're gonna play the shit out of the Butcher Babies. And I don't know, I don't like this. I'm gonna fucking play more. And that's how it had to be. But then it has changed. There has been a big shift. And it's really cool that, bands like the Butcher Babies and the bands I mentioned have really encouraged a lot of females to start wanting to pick up instruments, to be in front of people, to be leaders, it's
There's
really
more
cool.
girls at metal shows now than ever. I believe that. We look at our front row, right, ladies and gentlemen? We look at our front row, and it's just a mix. You think in metal shows, sometimes it's the girls starting the pit, and I look out and I couldn't be more proud, because it wasn't that way when I started going to shows, that's for sure. So.
And then in the beginning of the Butcher Baby show, when you girls had the tape on your nipples, I mean, were there a lot of girls in the audience then?
Yeah.
At that point too?
There was even kids in the audience back then. I think people that saw what we were doing and really understood, they weren't put off by that. They knew that it was just old school punk rock. We were up there just being raw and doing what we loved to do. It was very visceral. It wasn't, I'm up here strutting around like a Playboy bunny. It was not what we were going for. And you could see in the front row of those shows, I still miss those days, because there was so much chaos, and it was such an incredible feeling. Just to be new and doing what we loved.
And they didn't know what to expect when they were watching the Butcher Babies.
No idea. Some places we'd go and people would just be like jaws on the floor, and we're like, do they hate us? And afterwards they'd say, that was the best thing I've ever seen. They just didn't know how to react to it.
It's cool now though, because we've created this kind of a girls club. I mean, boys are welcome. It's not like a He-Man haters club. Boys are welcome, but all of us girls in this industry, we get along really, really well. It's not a catty thing.
I've seen it happen. All the girls
We've created this club where we build each other up, and we hope that we each have our individual successes, because their success doesn't take away from our success. And I think that that's also a really cool thing and a really unique thing for kids to learn from girls like us and Maria and Lizzie and all the other girls that you know in the club as role models, to see that, because us women, we do stand together and we do work together, we do build up each other's accomplishments, and so I'm happy to be a part of it.
Let me go back even further and ask you, why did you girls want to pick up a microphone? What was the band, the artist? Is there a reason? Like what?
I think mine is kind of the same as yours, Phil Ensemble.
Yes, Pan, Mother F and Terra.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
I started getting into rock and roll with Guns N' Roses. The first time I heard Guns N' Roses, all the hair raised on my arms, and I knew that I loved rock and roll. That was the moment that I had that feeling.
How old were you when you discovered that?
1987. So.
Okay. I mean, you were a kid.
I was a kid. I was little. But then I heard Phil Ensemble screaming, and I was like, whoa, I want to sound like that. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to sound like that. And I loved thrash metal already. I loved Anthrax, old school Metallica, that kind of stuff. But Phil's voice just really spoke to me. I always say in interviews, I was an angry kid, and his voice sounded like I felt on the inside. And I wanted to do what he did, so that's what made me want to sing metal.
Well, what was the first time you actually tried? Was it maybe on a microphone?
I sang in bands like late high school, but nothing like what we do now.
Yeah, but
it was more like rock.
What was that first time that you tried to sing like heavy?
What kid doesn't try to sing like their favorite artist in their room alone or in the shower? So as soon as my parents would leave the house, I'd be in my room practicing.
I remember when Carla first did that growl in a recording session. We were doing our EP, and we're like, just go for it. Just go all out. And she just, I'm like, what? I've been in a band with you for like years, other bands, and she never, it was awesome. It was cool. It was her.
Yeah.
You know,
I definitely credit Josh Wilbur, the producer of our first album, for really helping me bring out who I wanted to be.
Nice. Josh is a really cool guy. Really
I think, it's like you when you start playing music and you start singing, you're trying to find your place, trying to find your voice. And Josh really helped me put together, all the things that I wanted to be, and kind of brought them out. And like instantly I was like, that's my voice. That's what I've been wanting to do all these years. That's who I am.
Nice.
So it was a pretty awesome moment.
Heidi, what about you? When did it start with you? Because I know you were a cheerleader.
I was a cheerleader, but I grew up in, my family is
from Utah.
Yeah, right? I have a huge family. My dad is the middle of 12 kids. I'm the oldest of 6.
Whoa.
And so everyone has a bunch of kids, and big Mormon family. Whenever we would get together, people would play their instruments. They'd bring a drum set, whether it was a wedding, a funeral, a family reunion, everything. The instruments came out, and everybody took turns singing. My cousin was a singer for Disney, and so she would always have the microphone, and I was like, I want to sing, and well, no, Summer's the singer. You can hum along, and so I never really got to, but I loved it, and I started taking voice lessons when I was very young. It was a huge thing in my little family to be able to sing together. A big deal. I was in choirs my entire life. The solos, I'd always go for the solo, and it's just something that I really loved. But I didn't know metal because I wasn't allowed to listen to metal when I was younger. I was allowed to listen to the things that were on pop radio or that my parents let me listen to. I grew up on the Osmonds and go to wholesome family bands. And then when I was in junior high, I had some friends who they skated, and so I would go to the skate park. I'd tell my parents I was going running, and I'd go to the skate park, and that's where I started to hear the different kinds of music, and I fell in love with metal immediately. I remember seeing this kid wearing a Slipknot shirt, and it just terrified me. I was like, what is that? I need to know. And then the music came along after, and it just blew my hair back. And I remember I took a Korn CD home, and my mom found it and she broke it, and now we watch Korn together, and she loves that. Yeah.
Oh, how they come around.
It's so funny. Our parents, they see us with Marilyn Manson, Megadeth, and they love seeing these metal bands now. But when I was a kid, by all means, hell no. Nope. And so I've always been a singer. But when it came to screaming, like Carla, I was really taken back, of course, by Corey Taylor, and I wanted that aggression. And I would drive along the hills, the Mulholland Hills, in LA, and I would scream along to a bunch of different artists in my car, and kind of just self-taught myself how to do it. But I just love the passion in it. I love to sing. I think singing and melodic singing is great, and I love that we can harmonize together like that, but there's nothing like getting up and feeling that passion of screaming. And you all know, you feel it, right? And I think that's really what kept us here.
It's so cool. It's a release. It's so therapeutic, this
Yes.
music. It's so soothing. Some people, when they're not on tour and stuff, they de-metal themselves in their lives, and you wouldn't know that they were fans of it. But there are others who live and breathe and drink it every day, and no matter what they're doing, that's what it is. And that's the driving force that keeps us all here. Look at Headbangers Con here. Yeah. That's why we're here, man, with the Butcher Babies. Happy to have them here. But cheerleading too, though, right?
Yes. Okay.
Because my daughters, I'm a metal cheer dad. I'm proud of it. I cheer on my daughters. I'm a metal cheerleader myself.
Yeah.
I cheerlead for metal.
If you've ever seen us live, you can see that I was a cheerleader. It's 100%.
So you were a flyer?
I was a flyer, and I was a tumbler, and I did it in high school, collegiately, and then for the NBA, and I loved it. And I still love cheer. I think it's awesome. I think it's fun. It teaches you teamwork, agility, everything. I was also a track athlete. I did that.
Yeah, I remember,
track and field since I was 7 years old.
What was your best
event?
Yeah.
I was a heptathlete, so I did a bunch of different events.
What was your favorite? What was your best?
High jump.
High jump. That's it. That's what I've seen on your Instagram.
I'm 5'4", but I was a high jumper, and my dad was a high jumper, and I got his hops, I guess. But yeah, I did that, and I competed in the Junior Olympics with track and field too.
Wow, look at this.
So,
yeah.
Thank you. But I broke my back when, and when I got into college, I broke my back pole vaulting, and it was never the same. So I could still tumble.
Broke your back?
Yeah. So my athletics, I love athletics. I'm a huge sports fan. But yeah, I couldn't really compete at the level I was doing before. So I put it away, and that really opened up the doors for music for me.
What's the highest you can jump?
My PR was 5'10".
Wow. What does that mean?
My personal record was 5 feet 10 inches.
and so you can jump over someone 5 feet 10 inches?
Not anymore, no. But there's this thing called
Can you demonstrate right here for us, please?
I'm 5'2". We can demonstrate.
Well, Carla, stand still. No, they put a board. A bar across, and you go and you jump over it. But,
wow.
Yeah.
And then you have to do that thing.
Yeah, the Fosbury flop, where you just bend in half backwards. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Anybody high jumper here?
Yeah.
All right.
So you know.
2 high jumpers in the front row. Look at that.
But yeah, I loved it.
Oh, another high jumper over there? Yeah. You guys want to do something outside right now?
Yeah, let's go
That'd
set
be
up
kind of cool. No, we'll wait till we're drunk later. And then we'll start.
even better. And we could throw some cheerleading stunts on top of that.
That's so cool, man. So, and Carla, I know you, I've known you forever, but you're an amazing artist.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, I definitely was not. I was the anti-cheerleader in school. It just wasn't. It's not my personality at all. I love that she did it because we're the perfect match
Yin
of
and
friends.
yang.
Because I'm the anti-cheerleader, she's the cheerleader. But I loved art, and I've been doing comic book style art since I was a kid. That's all I cared about was metal and drawing. So that's what I grew up doing.
And you're still doing it. I mean, you're releasing books and you're selling unique paintings and drawings that you do all the time for fans.
I sell a collection of my art every year, annually, and I do all kinds of commissions and all kinds of artwork. I wrote a book called Death and Other Dances. So pretty much anything artsy I love to do. That's my life.
Do you have any of that stuff here?
I do.
Right.
If you guys haven't been to our booths yet, back there in the corner, he's showing off my book right there. Thank you.
Nice.
We've got a ton of cool stuff over there, and I've got all my artwork, and we've got a really cute collaboration that we did. Heidi's very crafty, and she handmade these bows, and the centerpiece of the bows is my artwork. So there's a lot of cool stuff. You gotta come check it out, say hello to us, take pictures and everything.
Do you guys do like Thanksgiving decorations, Christmas decoration stuff?
No, we're always traveling during those times because our families live all over the place. So we haven't really done a holiday together.
We did Thanksgiving on the road once together.
We did Thanksgiving on the road, but.
Arts and crafts with the
hang
Butcher
out.
Babies. That's kind of a cool VIP experience, you
Oh my
know?
goodness.
Next time we do this, will be like the arts and crafts hour.
You're giving me really good ideas right now.
This is cool. But I mean, we were talking about earlier, besides the music, there's other things that we do, right? We all have to do it.
Well,
we just can't settle down and just be, I'm going to have one job, like all of us.
I don't know if you guys know how hard it is to be a musician nowadays. We work our asses off on the road, and we still don't come home with very much money, so we all have to work our, when we get home as well. The days of, starting a band and being a rock star, making a ton of money, really doesn't happen anymore. So we're very thankful for those of you that support everything that we do when we're home as well as when we're out on the road.
But it's also really nice to be able to have those focus on different creative avenues as well.
Yep.
Keep that brain going, and also leaving a good legacy. We were talking about this. Your legacy means so much, and it can't be just music, but it's also nice to venture out. Once you find out that you have a voice, that you're able to, front something or give good ideas or help the youth or anything like that. I think it's really important that we do those things because we do have that voice, and it's something that once we realized when we first started this, we were just kids having fun, and once we realized that we were becoming role models and that we had a voice to use it in a positive manner, we definitely started living our lives a little bit more positively, and I think that it helped me, it saved me, and I think that as long as we can leave, like I said, a positive legacy, we're happy about that.
What else do you guys want to do?
Well, I don't know if any of you guys know it, but I'm a grief counselor in my spare time. I was a funeral director and embalmer, and I've done a lot of work with vets. I'm really want to do more of that. I'm trying to reach out to them.
That's awesome.
Grief therapy is really important to me, so I'm going to try to do as much as I can with that over the next few years.
Something we've talked about doing is meeting with youth and kids, and being able to tell our experiences and different avenues to be dealing with mental health issues, or children are growing up in not so great families, and we had our issues, and I think that if we can tell people that there is a light at the end of a tunnel, and children especially, to give them that positive outlook, I think for us working with the youth is very, very important.
And if they see that, it just makes it all better because they know they're not alone.
Yeah,
and they're not, these girls that I've loved so much, and I went to their shows, and they're just like me.
Yeah,
and sometimes people forget, but everyone is the same. Like we're all people.
Yeah, I had a giant family, but I felt so alone. And there were issues, all sorts of issues that I had, but I would love to be able to sit and talk to children about those things and just let them know that obviously you're not alone. I went through it. A lot of people go through these different things, and just being able to lend a helping hand in that matter, that's something that I definitely want to bring into my legacy.
Nice. Here with the Butcher Babies, love talking to Carla and Heidi. What about new music? I know we were talking earlier, and I was like, so what's up, Butcher Baby girls?
Well, we're home for a while. That means we have time to write some new songs for you guys. So we're really excited about that.
We're going to double down on the heavy, we just decided.
We just had a conversation while we were drunk last night. We decided to go triple heavy.
Big Dad of triple heavy.
It's so funny because, being a female in this industry, back to that, people want to hear you do what they'll make money on, and that is radio. And we love radio, and we think it's great, but we started in metal, and we are going to continue in metal. And so we're not going to let anyone tell us what to do, what kind of music to make. We're going back to our original thoughts on this. Don't tell me what to look like. Don't tell me what to sound like. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it my way. We're gonna do it our way.
Nice.
And that's gonna we're gonna double
your way.
We're gonna double down. We're gonna double down on the heavy for the next one.
I saw the Butcher Babies this year, right? They performed. Was it this year? Acoustic?
Yes.
Yeah, that was. Everything's blending together. But this year, I saw a really cool acoustic performance from the Butcher Babies in, I think it was Ohio or somewhere.
Yes.
And it was. I was blown away. I was like,
Thank
this
you.
is some of the songs like really worked acoustic, and it was a different flavor. And I can see maybe even possibly doing some cool stuff like that in the future. I don't know.
Well, one of the coolest things about going to our shows when we do a headliner is we'll see, these big guys, and they're in the pit all night, and then we'll play a song like Thrown Away, and they'll sit there crying. And it's such an incredible thing to
Sad
see.
metalheads.
These people run a gamut of emotions in front of you, because we feel the same. So it's just the coolest thing that you guys allow us to be all sides of ourselves. You let us be heavy. You let us, take it down a notch when we want to. And that's so cool, because not a lot of fan bases do that. Thank you.
Craziest fan situation, or maybe some not craziest fan. Somewhere you were recognized, you were just like, wow, like just somewhere, one of those crazy stories. You're like, I can't believe that this person knew this. Or do you guys have something like crazy run in the supermarket or something? I don't know.
Well, here's a really unique experience, and I know a couple members of Megadeth are here, but that tour was really fun for us. It was our first time actually opening.
Was it the Gigant tour?
No, it was a couple of years ago, and it was Amon Amarth, Suicidal Tendencies, Metal Church, obviously, and then us. And we were opening up a tour. It was our first time ever opening a tour, so it was really fun, but a unique position to be in. But I remember looking to the side of the stage, and Dave Mustaine is standing there watching us go like this. And I'm like, this is fucking cool. And someone got video of it. It's online somewhere.
But the coolest thing was, not only did he watch us, but the next day he granted us 5 extra minutes on stage.
Oh.
Because he liked what he saw. So that was
You have
cool.
been granted 5 minutes from Dave Mustaine.
This is exactly what it was like. It like floated in. He's like,
Yeah.
there's 5 minutes for you.
What do you mean, Carla and Heidi? I really thought you guys were swell.
I love Dave.
So the whole band was great to us. They were really great. We've had a lot of really cool experiences like that before, but I don't know about run-ins, but we have a really awesome fan base, and I'll say this because they don't get creepy with us, and
You're lucky.
I would say no, I know. In the past, like I said, we've been a band for almost 10 years, and in the past 10 years, we've maybe had a handful of issues ever, and our fan base is really great. They respect us. They treat us like like family, and they think that that's really great. With respect, they kind of respect that they would give their family members and their parents. So it's very rare we get a creeper.
Good.
We get it more in our DMs.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't check them.
Show me your areola, girl.
I downloaded Snapchat once upon a time, and I decided to check the messages, and I regret it. I don't check my messages.
His face is still bruised.
It was just a parade of craziness. Have you guys seen that meme where it's like a girl opens her DMs once and it's just a bag of dildos? Like, yeah, that's what it is.
Oh man, that doesn't happen to
Kids,
everyone.
earmuffs.
Yeah. Here with the Butcher Babies, thank you so much for coming out. And I can just see metalheads and fans treating you with respect because metal fans are the best. I always say it, we are the coolest, the most respectful. We were just at a big festival in Sacramento, Aftershock, and just the hotel people were like, "Oh, we love it when you guys come." And it's like, why? It's like, because you guys are so nice. Everyone's so cool. Everybody, I was like, because we are. Like, it is. Metalheads are the best and the nicest, and I love that, man. We're family. We push it to the generations and stuff, like push it on to our kids and all that good stuff. But I want to open up the questions here to any of you that have some cool questions.
Lay it on me.
Burning desire questions for Carla and Heidi here from the Butcher Babies at the Headbangers Con. Thanks to Chris. Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
51. Thank you to you, brother. Yeah. So, your name and where you're from, man?
Jeff from Seattle.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, if there was a tour you could put together with women of rock and metal, who would you pick to go out on the road with you?
That's awesome. A great question. I've wanted to put something like that together for so long. I think that we love a lot of bands from overseas, actually, that we were thinking about. Of course, there's a band out right now, Ginger.
Yes.
Right? We love Ginger. Good friends.
I was
great
there
people.
when
Yes, when we first met.
Well, we all first met them the same day.
Yeah. They're great. The Term of the Fury is another one I think would be really, really
Caroline,
great.
right?
Yeah.
Singer?
Yeah, and we played, she's sweet. And then we played with a band in Russia just recently that was amazing called Feelment. And they were great. I think, I'd love to keep it like extreme. Of course, Arch Enemy. And
Nice.
I love a band called Scarlet Riot from the UK. They were really a pleasure to tour with. There's a band called Ignia we worked with that was also awesome. They had a song that sounded just like Rammstein. We were just jamming to it every night.
Yeah, we just did a touring festival with Cobra and the Lotus, Ignia, Scarlet Riot. There was a band called Martyrium and another band called Asphodylia, all female fronted.
Wow.
And they were all amazing. Martyrium's like this death metal, a little bit of black metal influence, and it's just, I would love to do a tour here in the States of extreme metal, chick frontin', body slamming.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Would you guys go?
Yeah. All right.
There it
Okay,
is.
well then maybe we'll just do it.
Locked and loaded. That does sound really cool, and I love the fact that you would make it heavy because there is, right now a lot of the hard rock, female-fronted bands are doing stuff together. Like New Year's Day, In This Moment, Hailstorm, and there was another band that was on tour with them the second.
It was Stitched Apart.
Stitched Apart. Yeah. So.
And they're all great friends of ours, and we've toured with In This Moment twice, and I think that would be awesome. I just would love to keep this like super extreme since that one's going on and it's doing so well, which is awesome. And so I think that bringing in an extreme metal one would be really
I love that.
cool.
Good approach. All right, what's up, brother?
Ozzy, LA.
Hi,
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Okay, going back to what we talked about over there, are you guys going to do something as weird and off the wall as I'm Coming to Take You Away in your next album, or?
We always dream about these different cover songs that we want to do.
That was amazing.
I really want to do How Many Licks by Little Kim.
Oh my god.
I want to make a metal version of that. Something so ridiculous.
Wait, how does that go?
fun.
How does that
How
go?
many licks does it take till you get to the center?
Oh, I know that.
Just something completely
The lyrics
off the wall.
are so... I just don't know how we would do that.
Anytime
Maybe.
we're at a club and that song comes on, we hit the dance floor.
That's
Yeah.
Carla's Turn Up song.
That's like, I'm going to bed, but wait, you just played my song, so I'm going to
That's what's going to happen in the bar later on. We're going to put that song. We're going to watch Carla
You have to.
hit the dance floor.
It was Carla's birthday one year, and it was during the tour we were on with Megadeth. Actually, it was her birthday one year, and it was at midnight, and she's
I
like,
wanted to turn up.
all I
was
need
like,
is I need How Many Licks, and we turned that song on so loud, and we danced for 5 minutes, and went to bed.
But on that, we fell. We were dancing so hard we fell. Almost broke the table in our RV, and I swear I had a bum hip the rest of that tour.
It was worth it.
Fun.
Little Kim.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys again. Only Metal and Jose, as a radio host, he knows we can cover anything.
Yeah.
From country music to whatever you got, we'll do it. And I thank you guys for that.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Hello, hi, welcome.
My name's Lisa. I'm from right here in
Lisa.
Portland.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It's so good to see you too, Jose.
Yeah,
because
thank you.
I love your show.
Oh.
Man. I love it. Love it. Liquid metal.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So I'm an artist in a different genre, and a lot of times we end up on playlists. Female artists end up on radio playlists. It's like, this is the women's show, and all hour we're gonna play just female blues artists, And then you look at the playlist the rest of the time, and they're not playing female artists. So I want to commend you for putting women artists in the mix, because that's what drives the demand. The demand shouldn't have to be there beforehand. It's the radio play, it's the video playlist. That's what drives the demand and gets you guys seen. And I'm just very happy for you guys.
Thank you.
Being so as successful as you are. But I just had a question about that kind of, this is the women's stage and the women's showcase, and that first question actually made me think to ask you about that. Sometimes, we need it. We need that help, man. We need the promotion, but sometimes it ends up being like a little Bantustan.
Well, to be honest, I used to share that view, and I don't want to be called female fronted. I just want to be in a band. Nowadays I do see the benefit. There is some diehard female fronted fans that put these lists together. I don't think it's a bad thing to have it singled out, as long as we're still also in the mix as well.
Yeah, and I think that when we have these tours of females banding together, first off, it shows that it's not a cheerleading squad. We are up here, we're cheering each other on, but it's we're not catty with each other, which I think is great. But I think I'm honored now to be called female fronted, because I see this movement and this shift where it's more of a compliment than it was where people are like, oh, it's female fronted, where I used to view it as like, no, I'm in a metal band. But I see we're looked at as powerful, and the fact that we're females in it, I find it just and it's diverse and controversial. I feel like it is an honor. And so I would love the playlist, but yeah, I think that throwing us in more of the mix with everything, which we've noticed over the past 10 years, it's very different now than it was then, but I think it's definitely shifting.
Cool, thank you very much, yeah. Heidi and Carla from the Butcher Babies. What's up? Welcome back, brother.
Hey, thank you. Rich came out here from Spokane, talked with you girls earlier and chatted with you previously, Jose. But all of you do a lot of work with the military, and we've talked about mental health and everything. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and Jose, I want to thank you for all the metal in the military stuff that you do, man.
Thank you, that's cool.
So awesome. It really hits home.
I don't know if any of you know what I do, but every 4th of July I do a cool week special on liquid metal where I have the troops take over every hour and they pick out what they want to hear. And I've gone to different military bases, and actually this is a good thing, because tomorrow I'll bring my recorder and I'll have it with me. So if you are in the military or have been, stop me tomorrow and I'll do a little quick recording with you so that I can have it for the next round of metal in the military. And I think that more establishments should do stuff like that. And I've done stuff with friends of ours, mutual friends, Mac and everybody, and helping out, because I don't think enough people are talking to them. And I know how important metal is to the military men and women, and how it's probably one of the biggest genres, I would think, like the one that just sustains them and supports them on their trips and tours and all this. So it's a big deal. So, but metal in the military, thanks for bringing that up, dude.
Yes, thank you.
Of course.
And so, to put you girls on the spot, I guess, would you ever consider doing a USO tour overseas, in the shit, Iraq, Afghanistan type?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course, we would definitely love.
Oh, they would love you.
That
Oh my
question's
God.
come up before, and I think if we
Why
would
not?
drop at the drop of a hat, we'd be there.
Let's do that. I mean, who organized that stuff? Morgan Rose, Seven Dust did a bunch of that stuff, and we should talk to
I think
Morgan.
it's definitely something we would do. We get a lot of emails, and not like fan mail like back in the day, but emails and messages on our social media from people who are in the service and to us, and they say this is the driving force. I know it's going to be a shit day, and I turn this on, and it pumps me up for the day. So, not just in real life, but over there too. So it's 100% something we do.
I bet you some of these organizations don't know that bands would want to do that, and if they just knew it, then they would be like, oh, okay, well, let's make it happen. So it's just a matter of sometimes
We're
just
gonna
letting
make
them
it
know.
happen.
And also, it's just a matter of
USO.
There you go, and it's
Yeah.
also all of us willing it to happen. Putting it into the into the world, into the space, into the air. I'm trying to will my daughters to marry Robert Trujillo's son.
I've seen that.
And I'm willing it every day
I'm
to
with
happen.
you.
Yeah, but every day I wake up and I think about my daughters, any one of them marrying Robert Trujillo's son, Ty, and me marrying into Metallica. I think about it every day. So you just have to will it to happen.
Yeah.
Butcher
We'll
Babies,
make
a USO
arrangements.
tour, will it to happen.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course,
Thank
thank
you.
you, man. All right, next question for you, brother. This is the last one? All right, cool. What's up, buddy? Nice shirt.
Rob from Youngstown, Ohio, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Youngstown used to be the murder capital of the U.S., right? Yeah.
Now it's Flint.
Melissa, I don't know where it's
Yeah,
at
take it
now.
over.
Melissa's from near Youngstown, so we go over there a lot. Yeah. There's that Arby's right there too. I go to that Arby's a lot. Yep.
But probably one of my favorite songs about you guys was Pomona. So,
Oh, thank you.
In all reality, it kind of gets the crowd moving and everything when you guys first start off and say where we're from, where you're at now. So I appreciate that song and everything. But I was wondering who Jimmy is, or is it just a name that you pull out of the
Jimmy
hat?
could be any one of you fine people out there. That song is just a really fun, anthem about what would happen if you and your best friend got really wasted and just ended up waking up in a car in the middle of the parking lot.
What would
Pomona,
happen?
and your phone's dead, and the car's dead.
You don't remember what
You don't
happened
remember
last
what happened.
night?
I mean, not that we've ever experienced that, but
I definitely did not experience that last night. Jimmy to us is just that friend who's always like bad influence. Just the fucking Jimmy. We love our Jimmies. To be honest, the name came from this guy who you might see him on our social media, and he rambles about the weirdest stuff. And I will never, ever in a million years block him, but he says the most random things, and he'll respond to people random stuff. And sometimes I'll write to him and be like, Jimmy? Question mark? He's like, yeah. And then he goes into this big old story about aunts and uncles and cows. And I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. But we love reading his ramblings, and we had to think of a name. And of course, he's Jimmy the Butcher.
I'll call her and say, dude, we just got like 10 messages from Jimmy. You gotta read them. They're incredible. This guy's brilliant.
If you guys need themes for movies, for anything, check out Jimmy.
Let me do a quick little video right here. Ready? Hey, I'm here with the Butcher Babies. Come on now. Thank
Look
you,
at all
girls.
the Jimmys. Yeah.
It's all about that Instagram little story, right? A little quick 15-second, 12-second video. It's better than 1-minute ones. You don't have to hold it up that long. So are we, yeah. Oh, we have some more time? Yep. Two minutes to midnight. Hey, you girls are so cool. I always love hanging out with the Butcher Babies. Anybody have a last question for the girls here?
Lay it on me.
Lay your hands on me.
Well,
Bon Jovi.
I do appreciate looking out and seeing a bunch
My
of Butcher
first
Babies
concert.
shirts. We got one right here. We got a Fuck Shit Up shirt in the back. Yes. In case you guys don't know, that's what we do.
I see the little kids in the back too.
Yeah.
It's cool. I always
got
love
one.
seeing. Yeah, Chris.
What's your favorite all-time metal song? Both of you guys.
Favorite all-time metal song? Chris
What
51 wants
inspires
to
you
know.
to go so heavy? Like
Surfacing by Slipknot is
Nice.
my favorite.
Right on.
Yeah.
This is your new national fucking anthem. This one's called Surface.
That's my favorite. I
Nice.
can't help but just shed a tear every
Oh.
time I see him play that live.
Right. Corey Taylor, I'll say this. He is, I don't know if there's other singers here, but Corey Taylor is my favorite dude metal singer. Now, because he can, with his range and what he can do and how heavy he can go and then how he can just be singing a Prince song, the next minute. Like, he's just his range and where he
Same.
goes, he's the best.
Same.
He's the
He's my
best.
favorite.
Okay, favorite metal song?
I can't think of a favorite. One of my favorites is Mouth for War.
Mouth for War,
But
yeah.
I first heard
Shortest Straw. That was the first metal song I ever heard, and that made me fall in love with metal. So there's that.
I'll answer this, Chris. I don't know if you asked me, but I'll just answer it anyways. I would say my favorite metal song ever is Pantera's Domination. I would say it. I just have to go with that. And there's others. And I love Battery. I love, all these different songs. But Holy Wars. But I would say that my favorite is Domination. So there you go.
We could have probably guessed that.
Yeah, I know. I'm such an obvious Pantera junkie.
Yeah.
So hey, thank you, Headbangers Con, and thanks to Heidi and Carla from the Butcher.
Please come visit us at our booths, right down the hall right there. Come say hello.
We love having the girls here all weekend, so thank you very much for coming up. I think we have the next panel. Who's the next panel, Chris? It's Dave Ellison, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving
It's Junior, man.
Someone's got to give him shit
And then
about putting us on the mega.
we're doing there's the Bobby Brown one? Oh, I'm looking at the Jose schedule, sorry. No, I'm like, what's happening next? Oh, Nathan Hunt's gonna do the acoustic live set, right? At 4 o'clock? He's so cool. Nathan from Shaman's Harvest, he was so much fun last night at the bar. I love Nathan. And then at 5 o'clock we have the panel here with Dave Ellison, and then Bobby Brown is the next one, in the beginning of the next hour. Awesome, 3 o'clock. Yeah! Thank you, Headbangers Con!
Yeah!